All right, let's take a look at this. Fern. This one's actually kind of dank, I think. You guys know what Sentinel Island is? North Sentinel.
John Allen Chau paddles through the Indian Ocean.
How many new subblers are there? I don't know. 20 maybe? I picked 3 winners. I'm going to pay them tomorrow. But they know who they are. I contacted them.
He's on a holy mission, sent from God.
You've seen it 5 times?
As he nears the shore,
List the 5 streamers you saw with right now and I'll gift you a sub. I don't believe you.
Spots them. They are shouting at him in a language he doesn't understand. He carefully listens to the sounds they make. In an attempt to greet them, he responds by imitating the sounds. They laugh. Then 2 come towards him. So he throws gifts wrapped around 2 large fish into the shallow water.
Okay.
Then he starts to sing Christian worship songs, and for a moment, they pause. But his kayak scrapes onto the dead coral, forcing him to get out. And some of them are getting very close now.
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, a child grabs an arrow, pulls back his bow, and shoots. John entered a forbidden place where time stands still. Outsiders like him are not welcome.
Moron.
North Sentinel Island is one of the most secluded places on Earth. And it's home to a tribe that has lived in total isolation for tens of thousands of years. We don't know what language they speak, how many they are, or even what they call themselves. Over the years, contact attempts have ended in confusion, violence, and death. Myths, viral headlines, and speculation have turned North Sentinel into a modern-day internet legend. The real story is much more nuanced. It's one of intrusive American tourists with Diet Cokes, ruthless Christian missionaries, abusive colonialists, traumatized children, and a highly destructive obsession with the exotic.
Okay, I'm game. Do they always have cradles like this?
No.
The start of these? That's cool. Hey, boo-boo. What up, bro? Welcome back.
The internet has a lot to say about North Sentinel Island.
They have a theory that North Sentinel Island is home to a top secret research facility.
There is an island in the Andaman chain called North Sentinel Island. They kill everybody who lands there, essentially.
Yeah.
What really caught my eye was this circular building, 3 little offshoots coming off of it.
There's North Sentinel merch, Instagram pages, and fake Google reviews.
So in a way, is this the only place where you can like legally get away with murder? Because cops don't show up and, well, I guess it's its own country, is it?
Most of all, it's known for being dangerous.
Not the only.
North Sentinel has become a meme. In January 2025, this American YouTuber entered the island. He filmed himself trying to make contact with the Sentinelese. As a peace offering, he left behind a can of Diet Coke, but he never actually made contact. Instead, he got arrested. Indian police are currently investigating him for illegally trespassing in the strictly forbidden zone.
Anyone know
He's
who that
likely
was?
facing up to 5 years in prison.
Wow. I think we live in a world where all we need to do is sort of flip open our laptop or look at our phone, and we can connect with just about anybody in the world, learn anything that we want to learn, see any place that we want to see. And yet there's still this one place that's isolated. So it really is kind of the last place in some ways that's unexplored on our planet.
North Sentinel is not what the internet paints it to be.
Send a drone.
To truly grasp it, we need to go back in time. Quite far back. It's the last ice age. A group of early humans
I don't see one guy like drinking...
set out from their home in Africa. It's still debated when exactly that took place, but it is believed to be between 40 and 60,000 years ago. They're among the first to migrate eastward across the vast Asian continent in search of more favorable climates, new food sources, and habitable land. The world looks very different. Massive ice sheets cover parts of North America and Europe. Since much of Earth's water is locked in ice, sea levels are often far lower than they are today. What we now call the Asian continent stretches farther. Some islands are connected, and so these early humans walk. They cross landscapes long lost beneath the waves of what we now call the Indian Ocean. They likely use vessels like rafts or canoes to hop from island to island. And their journey eventually brings them here.
We'll survive, TJ.
We don't know when, possibly up to 50,000 years ago. Today it's the Andaman archipelago, nestled in the Bay of Bengal. As thousands of years pass and the glaciers melt, the sea levels slowly rise. Bit by bit, their world shrinks. And what ultimately remains is a single remote island roughly the size of Manhattan, North Sentinel.
Hey, Slim Panda with the 35 months Prime says, can you visit Sentinel Islands for the 2K sub goal instead?
We spent countless hours crafting these animations, researching, building, refining, all to tell stories that matter. Maybe you're building something too, a product, a brand, a business.
A stream.
That's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is a powerful all-in-one platform. We've personally
makes me
used
think
it for
of
years
Stock
for our
Guy.
sustainable clothing business. We've built a professional online shop with ease, constantly optimizing the user experience.
Do
Beyond
people still
core
buy
features
merch?
like useful analytics and live
I feel like it was a bigger
Shopify
thing,
offers two great new tools.
I don't know, a few
makes
years
designing your
ago.
store even easier.
It's just so like
Pick the theme
saturated
and
now.
Customize the layout however you like. It's fast, smooth.
People ever
and
do it?
easy to
I think
use.
once upon a time, like you
Site
just slap
looks
your
at
streamer
store's
name on
data
there
in
and
real
people
time
would.
and offers
Don't you
useful
have one?
insights.
I have like an inactive merch store.
And what to try
D Messenger gifted a sub, now gifted 222. Thanks.
Just want a better way to run it?
Very cool.
Free at shopify.com/fern or scan
All right, chat, go scan this QR code if you want to check out Shopify/Fern. Boom.
this QR code.
Yorda's blankets? Right.
The exact origin of North Sentinel's population is still a mystery.
Andrew says JOB, 74 months. Thank you.
No genetic material has ever been collected from the Sentinelese. But the DNA of neighboring Andamanese tribes has been studied. The Onge and Jarava are believed to be closely related to the
Ongang.
Sentinelese. Scientists found that their genes carry two rare variants not found in mainland India populations. They are totally unique to the Andamanese. That means they likely split off from other human populations very early on, between 25 and 42,000 years ago. Genetically, the Sentinelese are likely one of the most
it all
unique
incest
human
here?
tribes on Earth, which also makes them one of the most vulnerable ones.
Yeah.
This is John 2 years before his journey to North Sentinel Island. He's 24 years old, raised in a Christian household. He went to an evangelical high school, just
What's
like
up?
his father. He's known for two passions, the outdoors and Jesus Christ. John is deeply interested in missionary work. Though his parents are Christian as well, they don't share his enthusiasm, especially his father. But John seems to genuinely enjoy immersing himself in evangelical doctrine. Right now, he's browsing through the Joshua Project. That's a Christian missionary database which tracks so-called unreached people groups.
Ugh, sounds so
One entry
boring.
is about North Sentinel.
Sentinelese people need to know that the Creator God exists and that He loves them, and paid the price for their sins.
We don't know much about
is
the
this job
Sentinelese. The entire population is possibly somewhere between 80 and 100 people. Their language remains a complete mystery. No one, not even neighboring tribes, can understand it. No one knows what they call themselves. They live in small huts grouped tightly together. Overall, they're quite crafty. Wooden buckets, bows, arrows, all self-made with raw materials from the island. In the jungle, they hunt pigs. Along the reefs, they fish. They also eat local fruits and raw honey. The Sentinelese are taller, more muscular, and overall healthier than their neighbors. A tsunami wreaked havoc in the region in 2004, but the Sentinelese miraculously survived. Experts believe this may have to do with their indigenous knowledge system. Foresight and wisdom is passed down from generation to generation. But this was perhaps
So
the
what did they
strangest
do?
discovery in a Sentinelese village. A wooden board, about 52 by 30 centimeters big, with 64 alternating squares. It looks exactly like a chessboard. Did the Sentinelese carve it themselves? Or did it wash up from the sea? No one knows. No other Andaman tribe has
Maybe
ever
both, right? Something carved up once upon a, or washed up once upon a time, and then they imitated it.
shown evidence of playing games like chess.
No way, it's chess.
John has
just
been
'cause it's
obsessed with the
checkered.
Sentinelese for years now. The missionary website advises so-called prayer points.
Pray that the Indian government will allow Christians to earn the trust of the Sentinelese people and that they will be permitted to live among them. Pray that God will open doors to Sentinelese people to receive the gospel message.
John could be the first one that brings Christianity to them. In fact, he thinks it's his calling.
God, I thank you for choosing me before I was even yet formed in my mother's womb to be your messenger of your great news to the people of North Sentinel Island.
The Sentinelese certainly didn't express any desire
Can't
to
dog
be
just do
converted.
it? God
Their
just do it
experience
himself.
with intruders has been, well, pretty terrible. It's the year 1880. A Sentinelese family walks through the jungle. Suddenly, they hear voices through the bushes. Unfamiliar voices.
Hi.
For weeks now, strange white men have been fighting their way through the jungle on the island. They carry weapons and seem to be looking for inhabitants. When they approached one of their villages some days earlier, the Sentinelese ran away. Now, suddenly, they stand face to face. Ready to defend his family, the old man reaches for an arrow. The armed intruders rapidly encircle the Sentinelese family. They are led by the man in the center. His name is Morris Vidal Portman, and he's been searching for them for a long time. Portman is a 20-year-old British officer put in charge to oversee the Andaman Islands under colonial rule. He is fascinated with the indigenous tribes in the area. While staying in Port Blair, the capital city of the Andaman Islands, he immersed himself in the study of the Andamanese people. Culture, food, crafts, and tattoos. Everything is carefully documented in his notebooks. He arranges young Andamanese men for the camera, posing them in unnatural, almost performative ways. He likes to surround himself with a group of Andamanese convict servants. He calls them junglies. But there's one place he hasn't conquered so far, North Sentinel Island. To him, it's the last great mystery of the archipelago. He's obsessed with the Sentinelese, convinced that he could be the first white man they'll ever meet. He's tried to contact them before and failed. But now, he has a new plan. As the old Sentinelese man draws his arrow, one of the intruders jumps on his back. The three Sentinelese are wrestled down and taken, torn from the only home they've ever known. Portman has them brought back to his ship. 3 Sentinelese children are already on board, captured earlier. The islanders don't understand who these men are or what they want. Portman takes them back to Port Blair. Here, he keeps them at his house to study them closer. The Sentinelese become very sick right away.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Within just a few days, the old man and the woman die.
Wow.
Most likely, they were exposed to microbes and diseases their immune system couldn't handle. Now, it's just the 4 Sentinelese children without the elders. A few days later, they're sent back to the island, overloaded with gifts. Portman hopes they'll return to their people as willing ambassadors. The children might have carried the very microbes that killed the man and the woman. We don't know what happened to them afterwards. Infections remain one of the greatest dangers to isolated tribes. Many have never been exposed to common viruses like the flu or even a cold. Their immune system simply can't cope. What's harmless to the rest of the world could be deadly for them. A single infection from an outsider could wipe out an entire tribe. In the 16th century, Spanish colonizers brought diseases to South America, likely without realizing it. In some regions, entire populations were cut in half. Andaman tribes were affected by this too. The Onge and Jarava have seen a dramatic collapse in their population. In 1901, the Onge numbered around 670. Today, barely 100 remain. Colonial intrusion, infectious diseases, and the steady loss of their land have all played a role in their decline. And Portman himself played a crucial role. According to historian Adam Goodhart, he was
very much a participant in and at least complicit with the genocide against the Andaman Islanders that was committed by the British in the 1800s. Somebody who was involved in exploitation, including sexual exploitation and physical abuse of the native people. And really, if it had been up to Portman, it probably would have happened to the Sentinelese as well, because he tried repeatedly to invade the island as he had done with many other groups and to bring them into submission to British rule.
Years later, Portman
What?
himself would
Why
admit
didn't
that
he?
his actions may have sealed the Sentinelese distrust of outsiders for good. John finds himself blindfolded on a dirt road somewhere in the state of Kansas. He was put there and left alone. In the woods nearby, he finds a village.
What?
The inhabitants of the village appear to be some kind of native tribe.
Is this a role
But
play?
not really. The village is fake, and the inhabitants are actors with costumes. All of this is part of his training. John joined a secretive boot
rehearsal.
camp for Christian missionaries. All Nations is a religious organization that trains people like John for their quests, and he is right in the middle of an exercise. His task is to preach the teachings of Jesus to the isolated tribe he considers unholy heathens.
This would be a cool
The
stream.
fake village people act as if they're hostile, aggressively threatening him with fake spears, speaking gibberish. To John, this is the ultimate test that will prepare him for his big mission on North Sentinel. He knows the danger of setting foot on the island. He knows it could cost him his life. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew tried to meet Sentinelese face-to-face on camera for the first time. The Sentinelese spotted the boat from afar and waved their arms, mocked the outsiders, and shot arrows at the crew. They clearly did not want visitors. 7 years later, a cargo ship, Primrose, went aground on a reef on North Sentinel during a terrible storm. At first, the crew was probably relieved to be near dry land. But just 2 days later, they sent a desperate cable.
Wild men estimate more than 50 carrying various homemade weapons are making 2 or 3 wooden boats, worrying they will board us at sunset. All crew members' lives not guaranteed.
But because of the weather conditions, rescue missions failed. So the crew had to guard the ship with a flare gun, axes, and some lengths of pipe. But before it got to an actual fight, the crew was finally evacuated by helicopter.
That would be hardcore.
But still, John is determined to go. To him, North Sentinel may be Satan's last stronghold, and he could be their savior.
I think I might die tomorrow, and I wish I could have had more time to express my thanks to you.
Now John is out of his kayak and an arrow is fired at him. Miraculously, it only pierces his Bible.
Whoa!
He's unharmed, at least according to John's diary. It's unclear if his Bible actually saved him. It could well have been a bit of storytelling on his side.
Yeah.
What's clear? The Sentinelese chase him into the water. In panic, he swims away towards a boat out at sea. It belongs to local Indian fishermen. Before setting off for North Sentinel Island, John had paid the fishermen a $325 bribe to take him there. They departed from Port Blair, towing a kayak behind it, the one John would use to make his approach to the island. Back on the boat, John takes stock of the situation. His Pelican case is gone. He had to leave it behind when he fled. It included a first aid kit, clothes, other essentials, and his passport.
Oh, the passport.
He had previously hidden another case on shore when he first landed to scout out the cove in the early morning. It is unknown if the Sentinelese found both cases. Especially the one he hid might still be there to this day.
But he was already
Without
on
his
it?
passport, he can't easily travel back to the US. For John, it's just another reason to stay and pursue his mission further.
Idiot.
But the Sentinelese made it very clear. They do not want him there. And John really doesn't want to die. Yet, he decides to give it another try.
You guys might think I'm crazy in all this,
Yep.
but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people. Please do not be angry at them or at God if I get killed. Don't retrieve my body. Soli Deo Gloria, John Chow. November 16th, 2018.
Oh boy, oh boy.
6:20 in the morning.
The next day, John takes the supposed pierced Bible as a sign. Today, he believes, is the day he will start to bring Jesus to the Sentinelese. This time, he tells the fishermen to leave without him. Next, he strips down to his underpants in an attempt to gain the tribe's trust. Then he steps back into the water and starts swimming. The island is just within reach. There are no records of what exactly happened that day. The only thing we know for sure is the outcome.
death.
One day passes. The fishermen return and look for John. He's nowhere to be seen. Then suddenly they spot something.
Oh.
A group of Sentinelese emerge from the tree line, dragging John's dead body across the sand. No words, no mercy. The message is clear. He crossed a line he was never meant to cross. John Allen Chau's death in 2018 made global news. Some called him a dumb American, a deluded idiot. John's father, a Christian himself, doesn't share this view. He blames evangelicals' extreme Christianity for his son's death. In an email to The Guardian, he called religion the opium of the masses. The evangelical organization that trained him depicted John as a martyr. In a statement, they said, "The privilege of sharing the gospel has often involved great cost."
Wow.
A long time ago, a group of scientists actually managed to make peaceful contact with the Sentinelese after decades of trying. But these same scientists eventually pushed for the island to be under India's protection. Driven by concerns for the tribe's health, the island has been off limits since the late 90s. All anthropological work stopped. No more expeditions, no more gifts, no more visits. And to us, that's a good thing. After all, the North Sentinelese never asked for any of this.
Aren't they it's the same tribe as they flew like a helicopter over, right? And they like fired arrows at it? Or nah? Okay, interesting. I remember hearing about this. Yes, no, yes, no. How could you troll these people the hardest? What would freak them out the most? A 3D drone show. Whoa, could you imagine? In the middle of the night? Dude, imagine this shit coming at you in the middle of the night. They would shit their pants. Holy fuck. That'd be rough. They don't know dragons? You don't need to know what this is to be scared of it, though. I mean, you recognize a flying thing with claws and jaws. They already know we have the tech. They don't give a fuck. You think they've seen okay, they might have seen a drone, but I don't think they've ever seen a drone show. You think so? Give them a bad dragon. Wow. If you gave them a flashlight, would they figure it out, you think? Someone would stick their pee-pee in there. They actually have fiber internet? Oh. That's cool. I'm happy it didn't spawn on that island, though. I quite enjoy our modern technology and brain rots and swipe memes. There's a best of internet daily dotes. There's the new unusual memes. This thing looks insane.